We are finally live again. Yes.
All right. Welcome back, friends, and cheers to you. Uh, few technical difficulties, but we're up and running once again today. So, if you don't know, I'm Steve, and this is Clay, and we are building a game from scratch uh, and using AI as our companion, as our friend. And we're going to walk through some of the first principles today. So, some of the things that you need to do to actually develop a game. So, with that, Clay, do you have any intro words, anything you want to say?
No, I'm excited to not have a. I'm excited that we love our normal job so much that we're now recreating a new job on top of it to explain to people what our new job is. And here are all the principles of how you do a real job.
Uh, Before we get started, I do want to give you a cheers, though. I don't know if you're drinking anything, so
Salute.
cheers
I
to
got some
you. What
bourbon
are you
today
drinking
instead.
today? Bourbon.
I have a Four Roses single batch, but it's cruelty free and it's vegan or something. Like I'll just keep adding different
Yeah,
buzzwords to it. Yeah,
gluten free, cruelty free,
yeah,
ozone free, all
yeah.
the things,
Exactly,
all the
exactly.
frees. Yeah. And I'm drinking a red. I'm just trying to finish off that bottle from last time. So
Nice, a
I still, yeah,
red.
I still had some left. So I'm just trying to finish it off this time.
I actually want to bug you really quick as a sidebar. This has been bothering me a lot actually, because like you know
Okay.
how you like pop open a bottle and like you maybe get like I don't know halfway, a third or
Yep.
whatever. How do
Yep.
you like save it so it doesn't go bad? Because I don't know. I feel like every time I'm like I feel ambitious. Like I gotta crush this entire bottle because I feel like it's gonna go stale or something.
Yeah, I'm with you. Technically, you're supposed to use like the air pump and take all the air out of the bottle, and it'll preserve longer. Yeah, and you can basically keep it for a couple weeks that way. But I'm with you. I'll crush it within the next day or two and be done with it. So I just put a cork on it. I'll usually put it in the fridge just because it preserves it a little bit longer. But then yeah, I crush it.
That's why I had those lame little. That's why I felt like such a barbarian when I had a 6 pack of wine because they're all tiny, and I'm just like, this is like fraternity humor or something. This is
That's
ridiculous.
right. That's right. And with that, let's jump into this episode. So, yeah, we're going to talk about probably some boring stuff for game developers and game designers in general. But we think it's really important to talk about some of the tools, some of the techniques that we're using just to make sure that your project stays on track, that especially your source code, what you do with it. And so I thought maybe Clay, we could talk first about like source control, if you don't mind. I know the audience groaning, holy crap, are we really talking about source control? What the hell? What kind of stream is this? Believe
I
me,
think
it'll
it's a
get
great
better.
I think it's a great topic. Like it doesn't matter if you're working on a team or solo. I think source control is like the only thing to stop you from yourself.
And to that point, I mean, I'll speak just personally, anecdotally. It's like I've done all of my coding locally on my hard drive before, and just one day my hard drive it wouldn't start. I had to go back to a restore point, and what the hell, like all of my source code was completely gone for my project. I was absolutely devastated, heartbroken. So it's one of those things where what you just said, whether you're with a team or whether you're solo, you got to put your source code somewhere safe. I don't care if it's on a thumb drive. I don't care if it's on some external hard drive. I don't care if it's just in your mom's basement. You got to put your source code somewhere not local, just so you have a copy and you have somewhere to go back to in the worst case. So I don't know if you have any stories that you want to share.
No, I would say it's comparable to like I don't know. I remember like you when Microsoft Office was first blowing up in like the 90s or something, and like you wrote like an entire school paper, and your power goes out or something, you just lost all of it, or the last time you hit Control Save was like the last thing it had.
Yep.
And I would say that that's no longer a problem anymore because we have like Google Docs and these cloud type of Office suites that always are saving your work as you go. But I don't think there's necessarily like there could be a product that exists like that for code, but it's not even like the cleanest way. You want to be able to. It's like every time you hit save while you're writing like your class essay or something. If there was something that you wanted to undo or you want to go back to original thought, you're hitting Control Z as many times as you can to get back there. With source control, it's sort of like this thing where it traps a moment in time where you can remember what it was that you were actually actively trying to accomplish. And I think it's great for you to be able to look back at what you were trying to do in case something like a crisis happens. And with source control, it makes it so, the idea isn't lost either, right? It's like,
Yep.
even though you lost what you wrote, at least you don't lose the idea.
And I will say this, like as teams get bigger and bigger, for people that are on bigger teams, source control is absolutely invaluable just to keep track of all the check-ins, all the commits, who did what, attribute this error, go back to a certain branch, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll go into all of the source control nuances later in a different episode, maybe. But for now, just tonight, just know that we're actually using GitHub for our source control, for our repository. It's free. It's really easy to set up. It's really powerful. It is a standard. I mean, I know thousands upon thousands of companies that use it, and it's basically one of those things that it's been. And I'm sure there are different camps, but I'm just saying, use some sort of source control, and we're going to be using GitHub for Age of Destiny.
Have you ever used any other source controls besides GitHub? I've used so many, and gosh, I'm so glad GitHub is here. Like I hope Microsoft hears me and gives us free credits, but I am very happy with it.
I mean, obviously, I've used Bitbucket, I use VSS, I've used TFS, etc. But I will say this: Dawn of the Dragons, like we mentioned last episode, we use Tortoise SVN for that, and so literally, I don't know if you've ever used Tortoise SVN. It integrates right into Windows. It's just like it's so not powerful, but the whole point is somewhere. You got to store your code somewhere. So enough about source control. All I'm going to say is do it.
And the last thing I want to add about source control is commit often. Commit more than you should. Commit, because I don't know, too many is better than not enough.
And I will say this as well, especially since this is AI themed. This stream is really AI. It does its best, but at times it gets really confused, and it might sometimes go in and just totally mess up your project. So commit. I double, triple, absolutely plus on that.
Right. And I can already openly admit that while using Claude a bunch, I was not following my own advice and didn't make enough commits. And I almost had to just scrap a lot of things because I had to start over. Because you know how like AI can sometimes get into its own loop where like it kind of like you give it so many directions or you didn't give it enough directions, one or the other, and it just like loses itself. So without committing, I actually just lost, my own money really for paying for the tools. So once you have source control and you commit often, then you actually if you use AI, it'll almost be like a cost saving measure if you make more commits.
Yeah. So if it doesn't fit, you must commit. Is that what the saying is?
I like that, dude. If you came up with that on the cuff, that is good.
I did.
No, I like that. I like that.
It's all right. All right. So enough about source control. Next tool that we kind of want to talk about is linear. Can you actually bring up linear? Is that possible?
Yeah, absolutely.
I might not be able to on that account, but basically, we just wanted to talk a little about project management. We briefly touched on it on last episode, but we want to talk about what we're using. So we're using, again, a free tool. And it is one of those things where project management is very, very important if you want to reach certain milestones, if you want to keep track of your ideas, if you want to kind of see progress within your project, which I think is kind of rewarding in and of itself, seeing tickets go from in progress to done. So again, the reason we're using some of these tools is because they're free, but they're also they're well known within the industry. I had actually never used Linear before, but Clay, maybe you could talk a little bit about your experience using Linear.
Absolutely. I've used it mainly for the product management side. A lot of business side folks use Linear. When it comes to these types of apps, I'd say like developers are most using Jira. I think that's just like the one that haunts most of us. But I really like Linear. I even use my own. I even have Linear up here for just me. If I go to see Clay Toto. So I love it as a process because it's just for tracking. And a to-do list doesn't really quite encapsulate how much this can do in terms of tracking the progress of your work. So at least for my experience with Linear, sales folks, product folks, anyone that's working on the business side, they'll be using something like this just to track their own work. Yeah,
Can,
it's huge.
can you go to can you go to projects just really quickly? Click on
Absolutely.
projects and underneath AOD or either one. Yeah. So this just kind of gives you an idea of sort of the roadmap of things that we need to work on for AOD, and hopefully with our community's help, we'll be able to get through all these. That is to say that all of these in some shape will be an episode that we go through. We'll be working on these with you. We'll be working with you off screen as well. But basically, there's a ton of stuff that needs to get done, and this really is only a fraction of the things that we need to do. But this at least gives us some sort of a semblance of all the stuff that you need to do to get a game out the door. So, anything else on linear or project management tools in general?
Man, I almost think, yeah, you know what's funny? We could that could be a whole series in itself. They hire scrum masters to teach all this stuff, right?
This is
Like,
true. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
So, okay, enough with project management, enough with source control. Let's talk just very briefly about our database and our database choice. Um, we kind of want to do maybe an experiment. Do you want to open Claude or ask Claude about SQL versus NoSQL and what it recommends for browser-based fantasy MMORPG?
That's a great idea. Let me let people see how Claude looks. One sec.
Okay. So, full transparency, I had initially gone into Claude and asked, like, okay, I'm making a browser-based high fantasy MMORPG. I have different items in the game. I have different classes in the game. I'll have quests in the game, etc. And so I'm just kind of curious what Claude gives as some rationale for using the database technologies that we're going to land on here.
So let's kind of emulate a scenario where we're starting up for the very first
Yep.
time. We could do, hey Claude, I'm working on a brand new MMORPG game that I want to live in the browser. What are, let's see, do we want to ask it about options, or do we want to ask it to tell me what the best idea is?
Let's just play around and see where we go.
All right.
See what it says.
What should I do?
Yep.
For the database?
Yep. I'm very curious what Claude says. By the way, which model of Claude is this?
Ooh, Opus 4.5.
Opus 4.5. Okay. Oh, but this is right in your repo, so it's going to be biased.
Ooh, good. Let me start over. No, that's a really good reasoning. One sec. Oops.
You arrow up. Does it allow you to arrow up?
I just learned. I tried that, and it does not.
Lame. Lame.
Yeah, Claude, that was lame. You owe me some tokens.
Yeah.
Anthropic, if you hear me, you owe me 45 cents.
So while it's okay, there you go. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. So it's interesting. Like right away, it's coming up with some suggestions. Redis, obviously, of course, you're going to do some sort of caching, but right out of the gate, it's telling you to use Postgres or MySQL. Yeah, they do mention Mongo. I'm not exactly sure why it just lists it as a document database, because yes, we know it is a document database, but why is it recommending that? Just because it's flexible schemas?
It sounds like, to me, this first run through, it's like, hey, here are all the options. And
Yeah.
now from here, I can be the one to say, give me the optimal solution.
So it's interesting though.
Yeah.
My recommendation section, start with Postgres.
Mm-hmm.
And then
It pretty
obviously
much
use
told you
Redis
the
for
answer
caching.
here, actually.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
you know, we can dive deeper into why this is the right idea, but I would say this is, it already nailed it right out of the box to say,
I think
hey,
so
go
too.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we need to give it just a little bit more detail and see what it comes back with. Say like there's going to be items in the game, and items are almost like object-oriented programming, where they're derived
Mhm.
from a base item class that will have certain properties on it. But you're going to have weapons, you're going to have armor, you're going to have other sorts of things that all have common properties. Does that change your database recommendation? By the way, what tool is this, Clay?
This is Claude CLI. It's the only way that I personally use Claude
And why is that?
because it has an entire view of the entire code base. And when I first started using AI for using it for code, a lot of it was me grabbing files or snippets and posting the code and being like, "Hey, help me update this section. Hey, let me do that." I love the CLI tool because now I can open it within the repo and it already has access to the entire repo. So I can ask it questions in the context of the repo provides all of that for it, which I personally love to death,
Yep.
honestly.
Yeah, and not surprisingly, it came back right up top and said, "Nope, this actually reinforces the Postgres Redis recommendation."
Another 45 cents burned.
That's right. Anyway, this exercise was just trying to prove out why we're using Postgres in the first place.
hmm
Is
hmm
we use AI as the recommendation, and so we're going to run with it. And so far, it's worked fine, but we're at the very, very beginning stages. So if for some
Yeah.
reason we need to change, we will. But we're going to stick with Postgres JSON-B right now.
Yeah, and just as an exercise, we could say, when would there be an opportunity for me to need a NoSQL database? And I am asking Claude these dumb questions regularly because I think as developers, we often work with tools that we recognize and we know the hammer is for the nail, but there's times where it's an educational, it's like a way that you can find out what you don't know if you just keep these conversations rolling.
Yep.
Cool. So NoSQL becomes attractive at 100,000 plus. Now I'm wondering
Concurrent.
if other yeah. Now I'm wondering, which frankly, I can't think of any game today that has 100,000 plus users concurrently. Not even like Call of Duty. I'm wondering if WoW hits that. I actually don't think they do. So
Not
just think that's
anymore.
really interesting. Yeah, exactly. Not anymore. Maybe in their heyday, yeah. But yeah, I'm actually not sure. So pretty interesting stuff actually.
Yeah.
So just like that, I asked a dumb question that I kind of knew the answer of, and I learned a little bit something new.
Oh, that's awesome. Uh, we good on the database side? Anything else to add on that?
Let's see. Not too much. I think one anecdote that I would add also is that Postgres is starting to take over the world. They really are crushing it with how they, and I'm not a SQL guy. So for me to say that bums me out because I'm a NoSQL guy. But I would say that right now it's slowly becoming the industry standard. And that's why I mentioned like, oh, well, I kind of just end up using the tools I know or what have you. But that's because like, oh, certain technologies sometimes sort of take over spaces and there's kind of our shotgun approaches to things.
Yeah. I guess if you scroll up just a little bit, I did, and now I thought about it. It did kind of touch at right there in the middle, the bonus Postgres's JSON-B column type in the middle there. Go down just a little bit, right there. Nope, scroll up just a tiny, your cursor just up a
Oh,
little
I'm
bit.
sorry. I see you now.
So that down.
Oh,
Right there, right in the middle of your screen, it says post bonus.
ah,
Yeah. So this is kind of where Postgres shines is normally, and so in normal SQL databases, the column, it's very columnar, right? You have columns of very discrete sets of data, and usually those data types have like integer or strings or timestamp or whatever the case may be. Um, and then in NoSQL, of course, it's schemaless, so you can basically put any types anywhere and it doesn't really care. JSON does is it gives you the benefit of relational databases where things can be connected to other tables and so forth, but it also adds this JSON-B column type, which is a collection of JSON, which is basically what a NoSQL database is. So it is literally a marriage between a SQL and NoSQL database. So you really do get the best of both worlds, like it's talking about here.
Yeah,
So,
and then I know we've talked about this loosely, and I know you're not an ORM fan. I'm a huge ORM fan because I'm bad at SQL. With little things like that, it makes it easier and easier for some of the object type of DB people to operate a little easier too. So I'm very pleased with having ORMs, even though it adds, performance loss.
we ain't added no ORMs. I'm telling you. I'm sorry.
No, we won't use it for the game because of I think it's the wrong way to use it. But if I'm making my own apps and stuff, I'm definitely using ORMs. I just
Okay.
love them so much. Yeah.
All right. Enough about databases. We thought part of our episodes, or most of our episodes moving forward, we're going to be talking about implementing something. So whether it's adding code to add UI, or maybe it's going to be adding items or creating a map, adding NPCs, adding quests, etc. You're anyone who's watching this, you'll be able to follow along with us. Obviously, if you come in, like and subscribe, you'll get notified, and you'll be able to contribute to the creation of the game itself. So we thought today we would talk a little bit about deployments, right? Do we want to do deployments? Are we brave enough to do that
I think
live?
we are brave enough to do that. I think, and for as a disclaimer, there is a very high probability that this doesn't work out today.
That's the best part.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about this. So right now, all of the code, obviously it's committed and so forth, but we run it locally on our own personal boxes. So Clay's running his own version, I'm running my own version. We have our own databases. They don't overlap right now. So in order to actually be better when it comes to pair programming and developing and releasing code so that we can both see what we're working on, it's easier if we just have a common location that we can deploy our changes to, both the database and the server and the front end and all of our art assets, etc. And then ultimately, that location will open up to the community, and you'll be able to play around with it as well. So you'll be able to log in, create a character, go into the game, go into the zones, mess around, and so forth. So to that end, we actually have to deploy somewhere. So, what does Claude think is a really good hosting service that is free?
I'm glad you asked. I was gonna have him do most of the work.
It's so funny how we call Claude a him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It could be a they. It could be a her. Is there a
The
female Claude? Let's see.
well, the Silicon overlords are very human now. They're definitely anthropomorphized.
Yes.
What was the word?
Yes.
Anthropomorphic.
Anthropomorphic, right? Which is
Anthropomorphic.
which is very close to the company Anthropic. So,
That's a good point.
all right, I am interested in deploying my app. I have a front end and a back end. I don't want to spend money on AWS just yet. I'm proving out a prototype. What are options available to me?
We gotta get you Whisper, dude.
I'm gonna type forever.
Are you really?
I'm gonna type forever. Yeah.
I'm gonna if it's the last thing I do, I'm gonna convert you to Whisper.
You know what? You're
100%.
not even the only person that uses Whisper for this. I just love typing it out. Like I would never want to do a phone call with a human being. I only want to text them.
That's too funny. All right, what's it saying?
So for a prototype with front end and back end, here are solid free tier options. We have Versal, which is for React and Next.js. In case anyone is familiar with Next.js, these are the people that created it. You have Netlify, Cloudflare pages, GitHub pages. Yep, the standards. And then for backend, we have your Render, your Railway, your Fly.io, your Deno deploy. I have personally only used Versal, Netlify, GitHub pages, and Render. Have you used any of these free ones before? I love them. They're like spiritual
Vercel,
successors to Heroku.
yeah, Vercel for sure.
Mhm.
I've never. I mean, I know of Netlify, but I've never used it. I've never used Cloudflare Pages. I've used GitHub Pages as well. I've not heard of Render, but I think I'm about to. Never heard of
Mhm.
Railway, never heard of Fly, and Dino, never either. So those backend ones, no idea.
Well, here's an interesting idea, and this could go poorly or it could go really well. Do we maybe want to even use some of this advice? Like, what kind of follow-up questions could I ask Claude to you? Because right now, using Vercel for the front end is already telling me generous free tier, automatic deploys from Git. I can tell you that Render also has that, but check it out. Render will not caffeinate the app, so it'll go to sleep after 15 minutes of inactivity. I'm not sure if Vercel puts their apps to sleep or not. So I'm just thinking about how you could I'm thinking about it from the perspective of somebody throwing out an MVP and like how they can get the most bang for their buck without having to price any of that in, I guess.
Oh, I guess I don't know what the sleeps after 15-minute means. Like, I assume that you're going to have to have a warm start or something like that. It's probably going to add like a 30-second overhead or something, I would imagine.
You nailed it. You nailed it immediately. Yeah, that's exactly what happens when you use some of these original. These are sort of like prototype MVP type of rendering. Deployment services. So they'll put your app to sleep after 15 minutes. So if somebody hits your app after a while, it'll have that really cold start where it takes an extra X amount of time.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you knew about this, but people then will write scripts or use other services to ping their apps every 10 minutes.
Almost always they'll have
Yeah.
a health check every 30 seconds or 15 seconds or whatever the case may be to make sure it never goes to sleep. Yep. I'm down for either. Ultimately, I think our end goal is just to find something that the community can use to set up something really quickly. Obviously, if we go 5-6 months from now into the future and look, we do want this ultimately probably to go on AWS or some other service. I don't know for sure.
Right.
So as long as whatever we choose, maybe we could ask that. Like, is it easy to migrate from Vercel or Render to AWS?
So I'll say I want to migrate my app eventually to AWS. Yeah. Is there pros/cons to using either Vercel or Render for my app if I want to port it? And I'm trying to think. And we also will have a server and backend. So yep. I will also have a server and backend.
For what it's worth, Supabase is very popular when it comes to databases as well.
Oh, I've only used it for auth. I've never used it for a database. It's really cool.
So we would have to think of where we're going to host our database unless Render hosts it.
Ooh, I see. Vercel locks you into a serverless paradigm. Render runs your server as is. So for me, that was why I like to use Render, because I like to think about portability for later.
Yep.
I actually never thought about the Vercel doing this because I've only used it for front-end code that I never had any intention of porting to AWS later.
That second bullet point there. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Because Vercel is probably mostly catering to Next.js, which you know has their own node paradigm there. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, so
Render's a better choice. Cool.
Yep. There you go.
There you go. Thank you. All right.
Thanks, Claude.
Yeah, thanks, Claude. Thanks for at some point it's just like making me feel good about myself,
So I guess let's do that then. If you're up to it, maybe we could set up a Render account. I don't know, maybe you could walk me through what you're doing and then we could
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I want to clarify that we'll be learning this together. As you can see, the last time I updated any of my Render apps was many months ago. So, okay. How about this? I want to create a Render app right now in my mind. my mind immediately goes to this will be a static site. Presumably I'm going to start with the front end. I was going to click static site, but I kind of want to ask Claude actually what the answer is. Let me see here. I would presume that in this instance it would be static.
Well, let me ask
100%
something
sure.
even more rudimentary than that.
Sure.
Can we ask Claude to set it up for us?
Ooh, I want to deploy my front end to render. Can you do this for us?
And if possible, I think we should set up a new render account within AOD, an AOD account.
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
And we want to do both front end and back end, right, on render?
Likely. Mm-hmm.
So hopefully it can do both.
And I'm going to be signing up right now if you could tell me what's happening otherwise.
Okay. It's going to ask you. It's going to try to analyze your front end, so it's asking you to proceed.
Oh, and Steve, here's the funny one. People, I'm gonna pretty much demonstrate how lazy I've gone as a developer. We should never be letting AI have free reign over our CLIs and what have you. And I'll be honest, I love clicking yes and don't ask me again.
Me too. No, I'm
know.
lazy. I'm the
yeah,
same way.
yeah.
But you're right.
It's so dangerous in theory. Like I just
Yep.
want to talk to like this is one of those do as I say, not as I do kind of things where.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah. Oh man, I feel bad. I feel
Do you
bad, but
really though?
a little bit,
I don't
because
feel
like
that bad.
in my heart, I know it's the wrong answer, but also I'm just like, oh, just get it done, dude. Alrighty, give me 1 second. Trying to get this thing over here. And you put this on hard mode for me to have to swap between a couple of screens.
Of course I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those watching later, today has been nothing but challenges for both Clay and me when it's the technical side. So if it's not obvious just based off of my camera and whatnot, I'm not really much of a technophile, and I have problems sometimes. Just doing simple things like today, whatever. I plugged in my computer and I have no sound, and I can't figure out why. Ultimately, I convert and I'm using just the built-in speakers, and everything sounds like it's in an echo chamber, and it sounds awful. I know, Clay, someday you'll share a picture of your setup that you have at home, just the massive monitors and cables and computers and whatnot. So
I have a lot of respect for people who figured out this streaming software stuff, honestly, and just getting all this done in general. Because at this point, I'm very impressed. It's easier to build software to me than to use software. Maybe that means UI developers and designers are down bad, but that's another conversation for another rant. Let's see. Now let's see if it'll let me connect to my GitHub. Let me do my MFA.
So for the audience, what are you doing right now, out of curiosity?
I am MFAing into my GitHub, and I'm now seeing an instance of an issue. I don't have the repo under my GitHub, so I can't even link up to it. So this might need to be thrown into your wheelhouse somehow.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Or
let's
it could
just
be
do.
public, which.
Well, for now, let's do just in your workspace, and then we can transfer it to AOD at some other point.
I'm already in the AOD. I made a new account. That's what
Oh,
I
you
was
did?
doing the whole time. Yeah.
Okay.
So now I'm like, but I did connect it to my GitHub, and I'm not 100% sure how I can make it public. So let me think about that.
So you tell me what to do, and I'll do it. I just don't know what I'm supposed
Yeah.
to be doing.
No worries. Let me see. Install render. Dude. I'm hoping there's an actual way.
Can we ask Claude what to do?
I'm not sure. And yeah, sorry. Maybe. Do you want to present actually maybe for one other thing? Just because I'm in the middle of this now, so I'm like, how do I run around between all the things?
Sure. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to be presenting though.
Yeah, no worries. Like if you
Let
have
me
a
think
Claude
about this.
instance, yeah. So either I can fight through it, or we can show Claude and let him see it. Let me see if I can share that. One sec. Sorry, and another technical difficulty. My screen is too large to be shared.
Such a problem. Such a problem to have.
Yeah. So
The
I have to
monitor is too
swap. I
large.
can't even keep all the things up at the same time that I want to do. It's this whole meeting stitch is actually different. It's really different.
If you want me to, I can definitely share my screen and ask Claude. Like, I don't know how far
I
along you are. I guess is the question.
I can either show one thing or the other. So let me know if you think one makes more sense. But let me even like let's see, what were we last asking Claude? It was just trying to do some of this render stuff for us, I think. Manual setup, new blueprint, connect your GitHub account. So right now, if I recall, the repo might actually be under your account. Does that sound right?
Probably.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
hate to put you on the spot. Would you want to try driving?
Um, how do I connect the GitHub repo to the render account is the question.
The GitHub repo to the render account, when you make a render account, that is where, and I can swap over to render again, or I can ask Claude. Let me know if one makes more sense to you. But basically, when you are actually on render, and I need to find that screen now, too many things, you can connect to your repo this way. So let me pull this up. Presuming I'm sharing the screen, you have basically the ability to connect to your repository. And what I was going to do is try to explore if there's a way for me to get a hold of it. And that's, or show Claude. So just let me know which route maybe you want to go down.
Let's see here.
Either we do it the old fashioned way or we try to say, hey, Claude, can you just tell me how red render works?
Yeah, let's just ask Claude. Let's just do that.
Okay, cool. Okay. So I'll say right now the repo that I want to deploy, it's under somebody else's account that is shared with me. How can I connect to it with render? Also, another thing I love is that I start typing like a illiterate human being in general, and it really just still gets exactly what I'm asking. All right, fork. Oh, okay. So we have two options actually. This is great. This is what I presumed. We either have to have you go through it because you're the repo owner, or I fork it, but and we can even talk about forks, right? But to me, I think option two makes this more messy than it needs to be, a little more convoluted.
Okay.
Let me know if you disagree.
Yeah.
And option
No, I don't
three
want to
is
fork
use a
anything. No, no, no.
yeah.
Let's
I
try to
think
keep this
fork.
as
I'm
simple as
not a
possible.
yeah. I think anyone that does my last company did trunk base, and I was like, that was a mistake. It was nothing but disaster. So I'm personally anti fork. For nearly all development. I think it's a really bad idea unless it's like open source, obviously. There's like
Sure.
isolated incidents, right? Yeah. So yeah.
So basically what I need to do is go to render.com.
Yeah. And I just made an AOD account, but honestly, let me
And I'll sign in.
see. Yeah, but I just lost my passwords. Give me 1 second. I will hand you the creds.
Okay.
And maybe you can sign in for me.
For those at home, this is what happens when you have a live stream.
This is also what working looks like.
I do like how Claude gave you an answer though,
Mm-hmm.
because we assume this is what you would have to do, but verifies it.
1 second.
It made me think of the days when we would have Googled or Stack Overflow this. I mean, it's just
And the guy would have an answer that was like, it was like close enough to what you needed, so you just like held on dearly for that to be the right answer.
that's right. I don't know the last time I've actually gone to SL.
They're like dead now, I think, is what I've heard. Because I mean,
Are they?
and I get it, right? Like, how do they compete against customized things that can look into my repo? All right, almost there. All right, I'm going to DM it to you.
Okay.
And the login would be the same one that we would be using.
Okay. And let me. The login is our AOD account?
Correct.
Let's see here. Let me get the. For those that don't know, we also will be setting up a Discord for the community. So that will be the best way to communicate with us. All right. I am into the render dashboard.
Want to share your screen with me now?
I can try. Hold on a second. Hold on.
Yeah, no rush. Take your time. This is what working looks like. We got second jobs.
Crap. Okay, sorry. What is this? All right. Yeah, let me share my screen.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So you can see my screen, I assume?
I can, yeah.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and try skipping through this because we don't need that just yet. We can go skip. Cool. Awesome. Now we want to be able to connect to your GitHub. Let's see if there's something that's there. And you start. And now my issue that I was trying to figure out is how do I unlink this? Can you click on credentials and see if from your side it'll maybe let you re-sign in? Let's see. If you hover over mine, does it let you scratch that out? Click that. Disconnect credential. Cool.
Sudo remove GitHub deployment credential.
Works for me.
Oh, weak.
Oh, was that Whisper, by the way?
That was Whisper.
Yeah.
It was close, but it didn't. It did all the letters the right way.
Yeah, it was very correct.
It was very correct. Exactly. All right. Cool. So then, GitHub, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Are we? Is this what we want to do? A static site like this?
Yeah, I can double check with Claude, but I'm very confident. Yeah.
Okay.
It is new static site. I can actually double check. It told us at the end. Yep, we're good.
So then GitHub.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is where you need my GitHub login.
Yeah, you can move that off the screen for the audience.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly.
First of
I was
all,
excited for the audience to see my Claude account because I already stopped paying for it. So if anyone hacks me, please pay for my next month. Thank you.
Oh, it's saying that I have to continue with Google. So let me see if I can do it this way. Sorry, I have to log in this way through Google. That's my password. All right, so basically what I'm doing, just for people who can see, I'm authorizing this, etc. But we'll see if
You can click only select if you want. We'll
oh,
be
okay,
privacy secure.
that one.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Cool.
Now what?
Now you can go ahead and click on that guy.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So right now, as you can imagine, this is handling a lot of really this would be really laborious on AWS, but it's already like just like straight up spoon feeding you a lot of what needs to happen. I actually don't think that I actually feel like everything here looks like it may be okay. Let me ask what the ideal build publish directory be. What is the ideal build publish directory for my front end for render? And we might want to change the root directory to be that of the front end. So it might be slash front end based on our thing. Option one, blah, 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 blah. Let's see, if you're saying it manually, just enter. Okay, cool. We can go and just have it be dist for the publish directory.
Oh, so not front end?
Yeah, just dist. But the root directory up top, because we're inside of a monorepo, I'm guessing is front end. So we'll find out together as it'll scream at us as we go.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my interpretation of how this should go.
Okay.
Yeah,
We don't need any environment variables right now.
I think we're good for right this moment.
Okay.
And we can go from there. And you can just click deploy. And later on, we'll need to add the end variables once we tie in and deploy our servers and databases.
Looks like it wants me to do relative pathing.
I
I don't know if
trust
you
it.
saw that. Yeah.
I did not. I missed it.
Okay. Well, I'll just show you.
Okay. Oh, I even asked Claude, what should my root directory be?
So here you can see.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I see it. Oh, and this, or you could just do just front end. If you take off the dot slash, I think that might be the answer, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. And we'll find out together if this works.
We need some music or something.
Mm-hmm.
Sing us a song, Clay.
I mean, let me talk to you about this, Steve. Do builds usually play music?
Ours will. We're gonna figure out a plug-in.
What do you do when you're waiting for a long build? Like I'm talking like, a 20+ minute build, like one that's just like, oh, this is gonna take a long time. Do you hang out and watch it and look at the error codes? I kind of babysit mine like a psychopath, honestly.
Do you? No.
Yeah.
No, I'll go watch a YouTube video.
All right. For example, the build already failed. So I'm already like, oh, public directory dist does not exist. So we likely need it to run an npm run build script, is my guess.
So that's why like we don't have a disk. So why would it doesn't it don't we have to have a directory for that?
So it looks like it says build. Can you unpackage build for me? Maps. That shouldn't be the same thing, I don't think. So if you
No.
go into the package.json of the front end, we can kind of see how the app would normally develop a build. Yeah, that one right there. So can you go ahead and run npm run build on the front end so we can see what actually gets generated?
Ah. Run build.
Correct.
2 words, right?
Yep.
Like that?
Yes.
No parameters?
Nope. And if my calculations are correct, we'll create a dist folder here. So we actually might need to tell, so we almost can't run a build in general because we still have some TS things screaming at us. That's the classic part of TS. Okay. Hey, I think this is a great, do you have Claude available to fix all this for us?
I do. What do you want me to
Excellent.
do?
I say just copy all that. And this is a great one. No, this is a great one, I think, to demonstrate. Copy all of that shit and just plop it in and just say fix it.
This is a lot though. But
yeah, it's great. It's awesome. I love 27 errors. Perfect. And just say
hey,
fix it. I want to run
fix
the build.
these. Do you? Oh, you don't use cursor anymore. You
I
use
do.
Claude
I do.
Code.
Yeah, I know. I use cursor, but I don't talk to it quite as much unless it's for small things. Yeah.
The reason I ask is literally, I don't know if you upgrade every time it says upgrade cursor, but pretty much every time I open cursor, it says to install a latest version, and
Hey,
it
that means they're
always,
listening to feedback, right?
but it always fails.
Ah.
So I have to actually go out into my app data folder and find the latest executable, that binary, and run it. And it's a real pain in the ass because it never actually installs the latest updates.
That's crazy. Yeah, if any app made me go and do run those binaries, I would just slowly start dropping it.
Yeah.
I have not ran into that issue.
So I don't know. To your point earlier about like just letting AI do its thing, I honestly don't even know what it's doing.
It's just correcting syntax errors, honestly, for those build errors. Yeah.
So you want me to try a
Try
run
it
build
again.
again?
Yeah.
Yeah. For anyone watching later. Oh, 7 errors. At least we went from 27 down to 7.
Cool. We're almost there. And this is a lot of the iteration that happens as well.
Really? I don't know what this is, but okay. That looks like a lot more than 7 errors. Close, but now let's try this.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, let's do these.
And then what happens if you run build again and it has more, you go, no, seriously, do them
I know.
all. Do
That's
them
right.
all.
For anyone who's not used AI, sometimes you do actually have to be stern, mean. And at times I find myself just yelling, screaming to no one in particular, but just like, no, seriously, Claude, what in the hell are you doing? Please go back, really think about the answer that you came up with and go back and fix it.
And this is why commits are important.
Yeah. And see, this is why I like up arrow in my IDE. No, now it went back to 27 errors.
Wow, even more. Okay. I would copy those for me if I was in this instance and say, hey, every time I run npm run build, I'm getting all these errors. I need you to go through the front end app and fix all the TypeScript build errors. That's what I would say.
Yo, Claude. For real this time, I'm really want you to think about this. Every time I do npm run build, I'm getting these errors. Go back, fix these so that I'm not getting any more errors. Take as much time and analysis as you need in order to do that. Oh, I and all my anger.
It's okay. It might be able to do it. Look, it's gonna try to. No, it's great.
I don't think
Now it's running
possible.
the build on its own. This is perfect. This is great.
I forgot to actually paste the errors, but that's all right.
It's all no. It'll find out on its own when it runs on itself, right? Claude is the best working, hardest working junior developer I've ever met. I'm very proud of it.
And it can handle a manager who berates it, which
Yeah, it's like a
is
very
HR
good.
would be.
It's a very good intern.
Yeah, HR would be all over my ass there.
Yes, yes.
Come into my office.
Now we don't. Now we want to make sure Whisper doesn't get hacked because who knows what kind of crazy audio logs will get leaked.
I know, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of the thing right now, though, with all of the LLMs like GPT and Claude and whatnot, is they're keeping track of every conversation in context so that they can build your personality, and basically all of the companies will have access to every conversation we've ever had.
It
And
actually
so,
bothers me not so much for the ill intent that they have, because I already go into this knowing that there's ill intent. What I'm bothered by is my responses that I'm getting are now curated in a way that is not as accurate. Like it'll be like, oh, because you drive a Honda Accord, off of a previous thing that I brought up, they're like, oh, you must love Hondas. And I'm like, no, I don't love my car. Like, why are you curating my answers now for this? So
yeah,
I always try to tell Perplexity and these other apps to not remember anything, but I always notice it still remembers something, even though I turned it off. So
I think it might be stuck.
it looks like it.
Normally, yeah.
Oh,
Let's do it.
okay, I see
No,
stuff. Yeah, yeah.
no.
You got stuck. Go again.
Yeah. So let me do this. Let me do this again. Let me go here. And actually, this time I do want to put these in here,
Yeah.
and I want to see what it says.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right.
Normally, it would say something. Composer doesn't. Claude will,
Yeah.
but Composer definitely does not have the tone that Claude does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was talking to someone recently, and I guess Grok uses Twitter as its basis for its communication style.
Oof, right?
Well, I don't know. I don't use Grok, but it did make me think. Like, is it nasty? Is it nice? Is it mean? Is it sycophantic? Is it just like, what is Grok? So I'm gonna have to test it out at some point and see
Yeah, but
how it differs.
I'm really nervous about them using Twitter data for training the model because like shit data in is shit output, right?
But is it? That was my argument. I thought as well. But and literally, I don't have X account. I don't do tweets. I'm just not
Same.
that social guy. Um, but I do kind of feel like you get it from both ends, right? You'll get a bunch of shit, but also you get the kind of like the group collective. So you do get the bad, but you also get the good, and somehow you have to filter the two. So whereas if you're just training it on a specific set of data, training models on cured data, as it were, it's going to have inherent bias
Mm-hmm.
towards that data set.
Sure. No, that makes a lot of sense to me too. Yeah.
If we're trying to somehow do Gen AI, where you're really trying to mimic human intellect, you got to take that shit with the with the good, right? Because that's who we
Right.
are as people,
No,
unfortunately.
no, no, and that makes sense. What I and actually that part where it's maybe talking like us and being assholes like us, that doesn't bother me too much either. It's more of like the maybe if there's fake news and what have you being rampant or Russian bots and stuff like that just going hard in the paint, then that's where I'm like, oh, but how accurate will your answers be in the long run if it's mostly slop? I'm not sure.
But isn't that kind of and I brought that very same question up as well. So
Mm-hmm.
what about all of the fake accounts or the bots or whatever? And that's part of the learning experience, is being able to discern between fake news. And so
Sure.
how would an AI or even a human to that matter know whether something is fake news or not?
Mm-hmm.
And the way you would do that is if you have 9 other sources or 10 sources or whatever that uh, are opposed to the one source that says something inaccurate. So again, it goes back to the training data, whereas Twitter has a lot of fake data or fake news or whatever you call it. It also has a lot of real news contesting the fake news. Whereas if you just have a true data set that you're training on, it might not have both sides.
Right,
So,
right.
so I don't know. My argument. Here you go. We're gonna allow this.
Yep.
Whenever I see something blinking, I'm just
just do it. It's like I need to run only sudo commands, and I'm like, yeah, then go.
yeah. Oh boy. Oh no.
What's
I'm
wrong?
all out. I finished my
Oh,
line.
you did it. See,
Now what do I?
this is why AI is cool. It lets you drink more instead of having to be here in the weeds.
Not only does it let you drink more, it kind of forces you to drink more.
Yeah, fair enough. Just a few years ago, every one of these build errors would be ones that you'd have to manually keep running over and over. So maybe it'll
Not
one
only
shot it.
not only that, like you'd be typing, you'd be scouring logs, you'd be doing all sorts of things. And now
Comparing against the original files.
that's right.
Yeah.
So verifying one more time, build pass with no TypeScript errors.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that it's running these builds here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Being extra cautious because I was very deliberate with it.
Yeah, and for any future viewers, this could have all been prevented if we had tests. But you know what? You know what? Tests.
So
It's a
all
sore
right.
subject. Let's see. Cool.
Yeah, it completes successfully with zero TypeScript errors. You go back to your code, it's because they got rid of all the files.
And check it out. There's a fresh new disk folder in there now.
Is there? Yes, there
Yes.
sure is.
Yep. Cool. So if you can do me a favor and roll back to render now.
Yeah.
We have a couple more things. Let's see if we can go back to where we can edit the instructions.
Do you know
Maybe
where that is?
I would guess settings. Sorry, it's been 9 months since I've been in here. Yes, we're good. So here we want to be able to edit the it's the command, the build command. We can edit the build command.
Okay.
Yep. The edit to the top. Yep, exactly. It's npm install and then space double ampersand. Yep, and npm build. npm run build. Sorry. Yep.
Oh, same one. Okay.
Let's give that a shot. Cool. Now let's see.
Oh, it's building automatically.
Yes, yes.
I didn't even have to save it or anything. It just automatically did that.
If that's what you noticed, then I guess that's the answer.
Yeah, it's just like
What if you had more stuff you wanted to do? Yeah.
That's right, exactly. It's like nah.
We're ready to go.
Yep. It's like I was just waiting for you to change that and fix your TypeScript errors, and now we're ready.
Yeah, you can tell render just got funded or something because they're ready to just run their
That's
server
right,
hard.
exactly.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know that much about render. Has it been around a long time?
Yeah, at least I would say at least 5 years. I was a big Heroku guy, and then they kind of I don't know if Heroku. I think Heroku's around, but because they don't have their free tier anymore, everyone kind of gave up on it. I'd say so. Render sort of is a spiritual successor there. Hey, looks like it's kind of working so far.
So what does that mean? Is it deployed somewhere?
Yes. Well, it'll tell you when it's deployed, give you a link, and then we can all click around. And that link is right there, https age dash of destiny.unrender. Oh no.
Errors.
We got to go back to Claude and tell him to fix more.
We didn't do an actual run build here just to verify.
Yeah, and it did build appropriately for us because it had to generate that disk file, that disk folder, I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's worth running to see if you run into the same issues. Man, this intern is not going to get converted to full time at this rate.
This intern's going back to school.
Yeah.
Tail between their legs. Well, this certainly was farther than before. So yeah, it built just fine.
Yeah, I see it too. Huh. Can you then do me a favor? I would actually drag everything that oh dude. I got it. We didn't push.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and commit and push. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Always commit and push your code, people.
We
Always.
didn't follow any of the advice we just threw
Nope,
down.
we did not. We didn't follow any of the advice.
Do as we say, not as we do.
Anyway, this is also something that I love. It's a small quality of life improvement, but I hated putting in my PRs, all of the descriptions of things that changed.
Hmm.
How it'll do this for me.
I love it as well. I love having it build commit messages out because I admit that I am very lazy with my commit messages. They're more for me, and I definitely, especially in working in a team, your commit messages should be for everybody.
Yeah. All right. So I push that. Now, how do I redeploy?
If you can refresh and go back to settings, it should be continuous in that if it got a new push, it'll just automatically kick
I
off.
see. So as soon as I
Uh,
commit, it's supposed to
it
happen?
should, but let me double check. It should have and just confirm you did push already.
Yeah, I mean, I can go out to the repo and check.
Why? Can you go back to the cursor? I just wanted to see what it said as the last thing because I know it committed. I didn't know if it pushed.
Yeah, yeah. I can
Committed and
see
pushed.
like
Cool.
I can see this would normally be an asterisk next to
Excellent. No,
the
totally
branch.
follow.
Yeah.
Totally follow. If you go back and then keep slamming refresh on render, maybe it'll kick. But worst case, let's just kick it off manually.
But I can see in the repo itself in Bitbucket, or sorry, in GitHub, that it was pushed
It
as of a
took.
minute ago.
Good, good, cool. Then let's go back to render, hit refresh, I guess. Let's see if it kicked off automatically. Normally it would, but it looks like it's not here. So maybe we can click on manual deploy up to the corner and see if that does anything. Deploy latest commit, let's see.
Oh, I see. So this commit is the same as probably the last one that we just did.
That looks right. That looks exact. Like, look at how long it is. It looks exactly like the one we
Yeah,
just did. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
it is. Yeah, you can see.
Cool, cool.
All right. Fingers crossed. This is just the front end. So what would we actually test?
Just the fact that it's up, and then we can
Okay.
start, and then we can deploy. If we want to try to slam more things in, we could do the backend and the database as well. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can we actually host the database on render?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Or that could be a super base auth episode.
Whatever you want to do, honestly.
Yeah. Let's see how this looks first, because you're right. Right now, there's no server or database. We're just kind of kicking. This was intentionally supposed to be a softball one to throw up. Yeah. Your site is live. There we go. So go ahead and click on that link, and let's just see if we have
This
the
one?
assets and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it won't have.
Cool. So things won't work obviously because of prior conversations on models and stuff and assets like that. But I just want to throw out that we did actually kick this up. Yeah.
Cool. It has a homepage.
Yeah. So anyone that's trying to hack us, there's nothing there to hack. It's just a dumb page.
Should we do the server next?
Yeah, I see why not. But hear me out. If we do the server, we still won't get full parity until we start doing the CDN work and the database. So just let me know. Yeah, and actually, you bring up a really good point for me. I have never needed to plan out a deployment quite like this before. I would think you would normally want to do the server first. We should have done that first, right? Yeah. Or we have done the database first? I would think the server first, usually.
So always the database first.
Okay. Got it.
You always want to do the database when everything is offline. So you would shut down the server if you're not doing live deploys. Again, we'll have to figure out how to do live deploys when we do schema changes and whatnot. But yes, you would shut down obviously the server, close down the front end, and then you would do your database first. Then you would start up the server, making sure that it connects to the database. Then you would allow the front end to be deployed and changed.
That makes a lot of sense to me. I have actually never had to deploy my own database other than for personal projects, and I just one-shot them all. But I'm trying to think about it from like a production mature app standpoint. That makes
Yeah.
all the sense to me. I like the front end would never be one that you kick up first because it needs to rely on all of that.
Yeah.
I just knew this one would be a low-hanging fast food way of making sure we got a W.
So let's do this.
Yeah.
We are basically at an hour, I think, as
Mm-hmm.
far as our episode length.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was 70 minutes. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe we could either do this offline or some other episode to get both the database and the server. And then we can just, because we don't need to have the audience go through the same sort of progression when it comes to the server and database and whatnot. But if anything does come up, we can explain it. But we can maybe do that offline.
That sounds great to
And
me. Yeah.
and then maybe next episode, dun, 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 we can talk a little bit about auth and logging in, creating credentials, and we can go through how to make it somewhat secure so people can log in, etc. Does that seem like a plan?
I think next episode might be a big meat and potatoes one where we are actually doing auth with Supabase. Maybe that's the
Okay.
one. Maybe that's the
Yeah.
one. And then that
Yep.
leads itself to being able to do the database and then the server following.
Yep. That sounds great.
Okay.
So if you're good with that, I say we just cut it off here. Maybe we do a little plug or whatever you want to talk about.
Yes, let's do a plug. Let me think of one actually off the top of my head. Do
All
I
right,
have? Oh,
I'll do a
I
plug
have
while
one. I
you're
have one.
thinking.
Okay,
You have one?
I have one. No, but you can do one if you want. Yeah, go for it.
All right. So I'm on a, this is just a personal plug, but I'm on a little fitness journey right now. I'm trying to get in shape, trying to eat right, trying to get sleep, which I suck at. And I've been pretty consistent. But recently, I was watching YouTube video. Those that don't know, I'm absolutely addicted to YouTube videos. I love watching content. I don't know. They got me nailed. The For You algorithm has me nailed for sure. But recently, I saw a video about David Health Bars. Have you heard of these, Clay?
I can't. No.
All right. So David Health Bars, they are protein bars, just like any other protein bar, like a Quest bar or whatever. However, they are 80, 85%, some percentage, crazy percentage protein, pure protein. Most bars have a mixture of fat, protein, carbs, and so you might have like 20 grams of protein and they're like 200 calories or 210 or whatever. These David bars are 28 grams of protein and 150 calories, which it's 4 calories per gram of protein. So if you're doing the math, you're like, okay, 28 times 4 is 112, which means that there's only 38 other calories coming from a combination of sugars or fats or whatnot. And they taste like ass, but the fact that you can get such incredibly packed protein in a protein bar is incredible. But the interesting thing about this company is the way they get this nearly almost fat-free protein bar is it's this chemical called EPG. Um, it's I don't know, it's kind of like a fat substitute,
You're
and
making stuff up at this point. I'm just
no,
kidding. I'm just
I
kidding.
wish I was. I wish I was. I wish I was this creative.
Yeah.
But EPG, only one company in the world creates it.
Ooh, it sort of got like a monopoly on this specific thing
That's
then.
right. So this company who makes EPG, I forget the name of it, they were selling it to all sorts of other companies to use this fat substitute because they could make, all these companies could make low fat or fat free foods, which everyone is who's health conscious, they want this. However, David Bauer was just recently bought out, and they told everyone else that they also are cutting off all supplies of EPG. Only David bars are having EPG in the ingredients. So they've literally cut off all of the supply to any other company that wants EPG. And so they literally now own EPG. They have a monopoly on EPG, and only David bars use EPG.
Okay,
So,
okay. Interesting,
so
interesting.
it's
So protein play. Okay.
yeah, exactly. So the question is someone else going to develop something like the EPG to be a fat substitute, and are all these other companies going to go to this new one, or is the company that owns EPG just going to basically it's a ploy where they're going to just basically take the price and make it skyrocket, and then all these other companies that depend on it will have to pay through their nose to be able to use it in their products.
Okay,
Anyway,
okay, okay. And how about this as a sidebar that's adjacent? What is your current goal? Are you trying to eat healthy specifically at a calorie deficit? Are you trying to hit certain numbers? And the reason I bring this up is because I actually managed to lose 10 pounds in the last like month and a half or so. And all I did was I don't count calories. All I did was I upped my protein intake from like maybe like 40 grams a day or so to like 100 grams a day. That's been the hardest part. It's like, how do I consume so much protein? And I realized that apparently was the biggest thing that I needed, was just more protein to lose weight somehow. Couldn't even tell you scientifically why that makes sense. I just started doing that. But yeah, I didn't know if you were maybe hitting
that's
goals
exactly
of your
right.
diet. Yeah,
That's exactly why I'm doing it. Is I'm trying to pack in more protein because it's more satiating. You're not as hungry when you eat more protein.
sure.
And so, but it also helps in muscle density, preserving muscle mass, and muscle mass is what burns calories while you're at rest. So, the more muscles you have, even if you're not exercising, the more muscles you have just in general, the more calories you're burning when you're not doing anything. So,
Right.
yes, packing in theory, zero point 0.8 to 1 gram of your body weight in protein is what you really want to do.
For
So,
sure, that makes sense.
yep.
Then I probably even need to eat more protein. That's like,
Absolutely. 40 grams is like the bare minimum.
I know. I was eating way too. I was like, oh, that's probably like fine because I thought it's like 50 grams a day. It's like what they write in the box. No, I was wrong.
No.
I started. I'm like pounding so much aspartame right now through all these shakes. Honestly, I'm
Anyway,
full of chemicals now.
what's your plug?
I'm gonna say right now, there's only one show that I'm really into, and it's Fallout. I don't know if you watched it.
I
Episode
did. I
five
watched
just came out
season
yesterday.
one. Yep.
Cool. The newest episode just came out yesterday. I have not seen it, but I say Fallout is currently my favorite show that is currently out right now. So I'm
All
very
right.
excited
Did you
about it.
ever play any of the games?
I played Fallout 4. I played maybe the first half of it, and I love the world, but I didn't love the game. So I love the show more than the game actually.
Okay. All right. And there you go. Fallout and David bars.
There you go.
All right, my friend. We'll see you next time.
Take care, brother. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.